Hello lovelies and welcome back to another textile tourism adventure. This time we're going to Helsinki in Finland. Before we get too much further into the video, make sure that you like and subscribe so that you can see all of my future content as we travel around the Nordic countries, as well as all my other videos on sewing, crafting and making. Without further ado, it's time to get into the video. Helsinki was founded in 1550 and became the capital in 1917. It's been fought over and occupied for hundreds and hundreds of years by either the Swedish or the Russians. Helsinki has been burnt to the ground quite a few times, so anything old that is here is very precious. What has always continued is the culture of appreciation for handmade and innovation. They also bloody love Moomins, music and wool. We arrived in Helsinki in the most Finnish style possible on the Viking Line party boat from Sweden. We timed this incredibly well and got to watch the final of Sweden's Melodifestivalen when the Finnish band Kai won. Yes, we were on the cruise where the transmission failed just as the winner was announced. But everyone partied very hard once we finally found out who the winner was. Then it was time to explore the city. Helsinki is a port city and has many islands, some of which still have old battlements and fortifications that you can visit. But be warned, this voyage is not for sensitive stomachs. You can also see the many museums and the many varied churches. You can also try some of the local delicacies like salmon soup or reindeer sandwiches. You may be wondering why we chose Finland. Well, we were supposed to come and see a concert. My favourite artist, Käärijä, was meant to be playing a gig in Ikalainen, but tragically for me, the gig was cancelled. Thankfully, due to the extreme generosity of some of the Finnish Käärijä fans, I was able to visit his Airbnb and see the famous Green Bolero from Eurovision. This may seem like an over-the-top reaction to be so interested in this one piece of clothing and that I'm a little bit too obsessed with this artist, but actually this costume is incredibly important both culturally and historically. Eurovision 2023 was watched by approximately 161 million people. That is 50 million more viewers than the American Super Bowl gets. Käärijä's song Cha 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 scored the second highest public vote in the history of the contest, only being beaten by the Ukraine in 2022 when the war in Russia had begun. That stat is incredibly impressive on its own, but when you consider that over 1.6 million people vote in Eurovision and that he got over half of that voting, just that one song alone, that is staggering. The song Cha 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 topped the world charts and was the first ever Finnish song in the UK top 10 singles list. It reached #1 on Spotify's Viral 50 chart, and it's also the first Finnish language song to reach Spotify's Global 200. It is the most listened to Finnish language song of all time. The song has over 176 million streams on Spotify, and the Finnish language is only spoken by 0.065% of the world. That's more than just significant for Finland. That's a cultural and historically significant moment for the world. Okay, so let's talk about the actual iconic bolero costume itself. It was designed by the legend Teemu Murimäki with Elina Lario and Vesa Silva. The bolero was made by Jana Björklund for YLE Pivosto Helsinki. The outer is leather painted neon green with a synthetic lining and black metal screw-back spikes.
It's so interesting how many stitch lines it has. So the top of the shoulders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels joined together. And then cuffs. It's hand stitched. The lining's hand stitched in on the inside. Joins at the back, the collar there, front. So on the inside of the sleeves, there's boning that's going around. I'm trying to work out where. It goes all the way around as a circle. Finland. It does the same thing in the puffs at the bottom. Yeah, and the same thing at the one at the very bottom as well. So each one of them's got a circle of boning that goes through it that's holding out the puff. I think these all used to be black, but I'm not sure if these used to be black. It has worn down the colour quite a lot. Starting to wear and tear, like the threads are starting to pull through where they've got those smaller sections. Okay, and then the back is constructed, the back yoke is in 2 parts, and then the sleeves continue from there, whereas the front yoke has got these little small panels, almost like a saddle shoulder that comes through and down. That's so interesting. Cool, so there you go. This is Käärijä's famous bolero.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Bit of history right there.
Getting to meet up with the other Käärijä fans was honestly one of the highlights of my entire trip, and I am so grateful for them and their generosity and their gifts and also just their time. It was amazing getting to hang out with them. Don't be too sad for me about missing out on the concert. I did get to meet Yaro Poyan when we went to a bar in Helsinki to have a drink for our anniversary. He actually happened to be there celebrating a win with his hockey team, and I got to say hi and have a chat with him about his plans to go to Japan and the weather there and why he should come to Australia, though he believed that there's too many scary creatures to actually come down here. I assured him that we would keep him safe. So that's the end of my Käärijä adventure. So now let's get on with the bit that I'm sure you're actually here for, and that is finding out about all of the yarn, craft and fabric shopping that you can do in Helsinki. Our first crafty stop is Taito shop, which is the yarn store that is closest to the harbour itself and where you get off the Viking line. This shop contained lots of yarn and craft supplies, but also a lot of pre-made garments. Taito is a craft magazine in Finland, and it was great to see their magazines there, as well as lots of different kinds of yarn, lots of notions and accessories and all sorts of things. I'm still sad I didn't grab one of those reindeer leather bags, though they were quite expensive. They were very lovely. They had so much here to browse and have a look. This is a great store to come to if you want to have a look at craft supplies, but you're also looking at gifts for other people and you want to have a look at some clothing too. Our next stop is a fabric store, Langakalpaser, and this is a material store that is right in the heart of Helsinki. They had so many beautiful fabrics. They had quite a lot from merchant mills, and they also had a lot of interesting outerwear fabrics, wools and oilcloths. I loved coming into this store. It had a beautiful vibe. Everyone was very lovely here, and it had a lot of great selections of interesting fabrics that you wouldn't get everywhere. Then we're heading down the street a little bit to Langakalpaser, and this is quite possibly the biggest yarn store I have ever been to. As you can see by the look on my face, I was very excited, and that's only half the shop right there. There is a whole other section through here that I am also very excited to see. It was a very impressive place. Highly recommend. They are also incredibly helpful and have little signs everywhere to show you whether the yarn you're looking at is actually Finnish yarn or if it's from somewhere else. I loved that little detail, and I can highly recommend that you pop in and have a look if you are in Helsinki.
There's so much.
Look at this wool. There's mohair.
We don't sell it.
You're like a kidney candy shop.
Maybe a little bit more excited than that, to be honest with you.
Complain about my enthusiasm for licorice. Jesus.
Wool is way better than licorice. Yeah.
Up the street and around the corner, we come to Finan. This is another beautiful yarn store that is very easy to get to. This one actually has a tram stop right out the front. Apart from the amazing selection, which you can see, the owner of the store was working when I came in and she was so incredibly lovely and warm and helpful. Everyone who came into the store while I was in there recording got such good customer service and help. So if you're looking for help with picking yarns and what you should buy and what is really good wool to grab while you're in Helsinki, come into Finan so that you can get the best customer service. She also made it very clear that, though it may seem insane, she has tested all of the wool that she brings into the store. She doesn't like stocking wool that she hasn't personally tested to make sure that it is up to the standard and quality that she wants to have for her store. And I thought that was really amazing and such a dedication to quality. So Nelly is just a couple of shops away. It has yarn there as well as lots of other different kinds of crafts available for you to try out. This is a store that is actually available in a lot of other places as well. It's a larger chain across the Nordics. So it's not one that you only find in Finland, but it's there if you want to be looking at a broader scope of crafty items. Most of the other stores have been right in the heart of Helsinki and very easy to get to from the main shopping district. This next one is a tiny couple of tram stops away or a little bit of a walk, but it's well worth it. This is the Sunday Knitting Club and it is one of the most beautiful knitting stores, shops in general, I have ever been to. It also has a little bit of a cafe inside so that you can sit and knit, have a coffee and have a cinnamon roll. It is beautiful. All of the staff working here were incredibly lovely and friendly and helpful. A couple of them are also pattern designers, so I've put the links to their Ravelry stores down in the description box if you want to check that out. A lot of the pre-mades are actually from the YouTuber Kutavakika, who is also a knitwear designer. They have a lot of printed patterns that you can grab. They have sock yarn. They have a lot of mohair and they also have a lot of Nordic brands in store, but it's presented so beautifully. I've also got a couple of links to recommended Finnish knitwear designers. Another one just here is Sari Nordlund, who is one of my absolute favorite knitwear designers. How beautiful is this shop though? I could honestly move into this shop tomorrow. It's so beautiful and cozy and the people there make it so warm and inviting. Though I will say the people of Finland are all so warm and inviting and lovely and kind. They've got a reputation of being hard and blunt. I love blunt, so that didn't bother me, but they were incredibly warm and kind and generous and just so lovely. I know it's a trope to say it's the people you met along the way, but actually for Finland, that is truly the case. Some less conventional places to go looking for crafty supplies includes bookshops. There is this one here, which is called Juan Milan Käärijä, and it is really lovely as a bookstore, but it also has a yarn section and craft books and knitting books. So I recommend that. I really regret not grabbing this little tape that is also a gauge. While you're here, check out the local design village as part of Moji in the city. It has lots and lots of handmade items from local artists and artisans across Helsinki and Finland. And it was a really lovely place to see what is actually happening in the creative scene in Finland. My favourite bookstore was the Academic Bookstore, and this place is enormous. I don't think I've ever been into a bookstore this big. It was like a full library. It had lots of titles, but it specifically had a big range of craft books, knitting books, crochet, and also pattern design and sewing books, which are not always around in most bookstores, but this had a plethora of them. Finally, if you're really short on time, you can always go to a supermarket. Most of the supermarkets we went to in Finland had a yarn section, and quite a good one too. There were beautiful yarns here amongst the frozen pizzas and the chips, which was not expected, but they really are great brands. They're Nordic or Icelandic wool, and there's heaps of it, and it's all at a great price. So if you're very short on time, you can always pop into a supermarket and grab a couple of skeins. The crafting magazine section is also well worth checking out. They have lots and lots of titles. I got a Moomin knitting book from this section in one of the supermarkets, and it's one of my favourite souvenirs of my trip. You will also notice that there is very little to no acrylic here. It is all proper wool or mohair. Everything is natural. There is very, very little acrylic anywhere, even mixed into a blend. It's all about the natural fibres here in the Nordic countries. And with that, we have come to the end of the video. Thank you so much for taking the time, coming and hanging out with me today and watching my little adventure through Helsinki in Finland, having a look at all of the lovely craft and fabric and yarn stores that I could possibly get to while we were there. I had the best time. I hope that you had a good time watching this video. And if you did, please make sure that you like and subscribe and all those things. It really does help me out a huge amount. I would also love a comment telling me where you are watching from in the world. Are you in Finland, somewhere in the Nordics, or somewhere else entirely and just enjoying seeing what else there is in the world? Quick shout out and thanks to all of my amazing Patreons. Thank you so much for helping me make the content that I make and the sewing patterns and things that I make. I appreciate you and love you so, so much. Another huge thanks to Serpa, Maya, and all the other Käärijä fan club people who helped me out and were so kind to me when I came to Finland. Also a big shout out to Katarina and Aina from Sistuli Knits, whose content and videos were so incredibly invaluable when I was planning this trip and everything else that I've been doing on my vacation. So thank you so much. With that, I'm going to leave you guys now. Thanks again for watching. As always, learn lots, be kind, and make something. See you later.